Today we are going to see about the chapter water is a precious resource. We already have sent you one video about this chapter. Before we have seen part 1 of this chapter. Today we are going to see about the part 2 of this chapter, that is forms of water. Today we are going to discuss about the topic, that is forms of water. Before going to the topic, I would like to suggest you one thing. So keep your textbook beside you while seeing this video, and if you want the clear explanation, you can plug in the headphone also. So without wasting time, we will move to the topic, that is forms of water. Okay, so are you afraid that continuous use will someday exhaust all the water available for use? You know that water on the earth has been maintained for millions of years by various processes which makes the water cycle. So water on the earth has been maintained for millions of years by various processes which makes the water cycle. So you have studied the water cycle in class 6th. Write in your own words what you know about the water cycle. You know about the water cycle. I think you have written the answer of this one water cycle. You can just see the diagram and you can write the this one, what is water cycle, in your own words. Okay, so you know that when water circulates through the water cycle, it can be found in all the three forms, that is solid, liquid and gaseous, at any given time somewhere on the earth. See, so whenever we are going to see about this water cycle, we can see the three different states of water. States of water means water is present in the form of liquid, water is present in the form of solid, and water is present in the form of gases. See, whenever we see the rivers, the water is present in the form of liquid. Okay, so after the condensation, the water will goes to the state of solid. While evaporating, the water is converted into gaseous form. So in the water cycle, we are going to see about the water in three states. They are solid, liquid and gaseous state. The solid form, snow and ice, is present in ice caps at the poles of the earth. You can see the solid form of water in mountains, that is in the form of snow. Okay, poles, you can see the water in the form of solid in the polar regions, in the north of the earth and the south pole of the earth. You can see the ice caps of the water. Snow covered mountains and glaciers. So these are the example for the water is present in the form of solid. So liquid water is present in oceans, lakes, rivers and even underground. So water can be seen in the liquid form in various places like oceans, lakes, rivers and even underground also. The gaseous form is the water vapor present in the air around us. We can see the water in the presence of gaseous, which is present in the form of water vapor around us. Okay, the continuous cycling of water among its three forms keeps the total amount of water on the earth constant, even when the whole world is using it. So this cycle is going to be continuous. You can see in this diagram. So from lakes, due to the heating of sunlight from lakes, river, oceans, the water get heated and it will goes into the air in the form of water vapor, and that water vapor will condense in the atmosphere and it will becomes cloud. So once again the clouds will come to the earth as in the form of rain. Okay, this is the cycle which is going on continuously on the earth surface. Okay, can you recall the process involved in water cycle? The following activity will help you. So they have given one activity to remind you about the water cycle. I have already told you what is water cycle. So from different states, the water is going to be circulate from liquid to solid, gaseous, from gaseous to solid, from solid to liquid. This process is going to be continued in the atmosphere. Okay, this is the water cycle. You have already studied in the before lesson also. Most towns and cities have water supply system maintained by the civic bodies. The water is drawn from the nearby lakes, river, ponds and wells. In many of the villages and towns, they have different types of water providing or water supplying systems. So water is going to be utilized from nearby lakes, rivers, ponds or wells. So in our day-to-day life, we are using the water from the bore wells, from the municipality corporation. So the tap water is coming from the rivers, lakes and ponds. Okay, the water is supplied through a network of pipes. Many villages do not have such a water supply system also. So their people fetch water directly from the sources. Often people and even children have to walk several kilometers to fetch water. In some villages, they don't have the water supplying system. They are going to be directly, they will go to the rivers, ponds and lakes. They will get the water from there directly. So they will go for a kilometers together for getting the water. The children suffer a lot. They can't attend the school regularly since they spend hours in fetching water. Students are also going to the fetch the water. Students are also going to get the water. You can see in this picture. So you can see in this picture the mother and the daughter, they both are going for getting the water for several kilometers. So for their day-to-day life activities. A large number of people draw water from wells, tube wells and hand pumps. So see in this on the surface of earth, the large number of people draw water from wells, tube wells and hand pumps also. So from where do these sources get water? So see, wells, tube wells and hand pumps are getting water from the underground water. So next topic is that only, that is underground as an important source of water. If we dig a hole in the ground near a water body, we may find that the soil is moist. See how the borewells are getting to be, how the borewells are found means they will put a hole in the ground near a water body. We may find the soil in the form of moist. The moisture in the soil indicates the presence of water underground. So if we dig deeper and deeper, we would reach a level where all the space between the particles of soil and gaps between the rocks are filled with water. Whenever we go deep and deeper to the earth surface, inside the earth core, we will get the water body inside the earth. That the upper layer of this layer is called the water table. So wherever we get the water in the inside the earth surface, that level is known as water table. The water table varies from place to place and it may even change at a given place also. The water table will change from place to place. Why? Because in some area we are getting the water at a distance of 150 feet, at a distance of 200 feet. So like this, the distance will vary from one place to another place also. The water table may be at a depth of less than a meter or maybe several meters below the ground. The water found below the water table is called groundwater. So the water which is present below the water table, that is known as groundwater. So what is the source of this groundwater? So groundwater, where the water comes from inside the ground means the rainwater and the water from other sources such as a river and ponds seeps through the soil and fills the empty space and cracks below or deep below the ground. So by the rainfalls and by the help of rivers, ponds, lakes, oceans, the groundwater is charging. Okay, they will go inside the earth surface and they will fill up the spaces in between the particles of soil. Okay, so the process of seeping of water into the ground is called infiltration. So once again I will repeat, the process of seeping of water in the ground is called infiltration. Seeping means going deeper and deeper into the earth surface, that is known as infiltration. The groundwater thus gets recharged by this process. At places, the groundwater is stored between layers of hard rock below the water table. So groundwater where it is present means, so between the rocks they are present. This is known as aquifer. Water in the aquifers can be usually pumped out with the help of tube wells or hand pumps. The water which is present in between the rocks, that is pulled out by the help of tube wells and hand pumps also. So have you ever been to a site where construction work is going on? From where do the workers get water for construction? So whenever the big constructions are going on, that the water is provided by the help of bore wells, tube wells, or hand pumps also. Okay, maybe you have seen boring being done at such sites to reach the water table. Inquire from the people working there how deep they have to dig. In some places they will dig 200 feet, 300 feet, 400 feet. Also they will dig inside the earth surface for getting the water. Can we keep on drawing water from under the ground? How will it affect the water table? It will affect the water table. Okay, if you go on removing the water from the earth core, means the water table is getting depleted day by day. So next we are having the topic that is only depletion of water table. Water drawn from under the ground gets restored by seepage of rainwater. Seepage of rainwater means by the charging, this rainwater will go inside the earth surface and the water table is get recharged. So they will get once again the same level. The water table does not get affected as long as we draw as much water as is replenished by natural process. So ಎಷ್ಟು ವಾಟರ್ ಅರ್ತ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ವಾಟರ್ ನಾವು ಹೊರಗೆ ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ವಾಟರ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ತೆಗೆದೆವು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತೀರಿ, we will get affected. We will not get the proper water. Okay, so however water table may go down if the water is not sufficiently replenished. This may happen due to many reasons. Increase in population, industrial and agricultural activities are some common factors affecting water table. So how the water table is getting affected means by the usage in agriculture sector, industrial sector. So are some common factors affecting the water table. Why? Because in industries and agriculture they require more water, so that's why the water table is depleting. Okay, scanty rainfall is another factor that may deplete the water table. That another factor affecting water table could be deforestation and decrease in the effective area for seepage of water. So slanty area means downhill areas. In mountains you can see the water will flow very easily from one place to another place. Why? Because the hilly region is there. From upper surface to ground surface the water will flow. So that's why the water seepage will not happen. Ali water nunkongilla. So earth will not get sufficient water for seepaging of water. Okay, so that's why the depletion of water table also happening. So increasing pollution creates demand for construction of house, shops, office, roads and pavement. Okay, this decreases the open area like parks and playgrounds. This in turn decreases the seepage of rainwater into the ground. ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಾವೆ, ಹೌಸ್ ಶಾಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಆಫೀಸಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ರೋಡ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ encounter the earth surface and the seepage of water will be decreased day by day. Okay, so this in turn decreases the seepage of rainwater into the ground. What could be the consequences? What are the problems where occur when we construct more house, roads, offices, shops? What are the problems we are going to face means, recall that a pucca floor does not allow water to seep in easily, while in a grass slow water seeps through in no time. So ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಸಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಸೀಪ್ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅರ್ತ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ಸೊ ಗ್ರಾಸಿ ಏರಿಯಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದ ವಾಟರ್ easily. You can see that one. So moreover, a huge amount of water is required for construction work. Often groundwater is used for this purpose only. For construction works we are using groundwater is very usable, very important water. Why? Because so it is a pure water, we can drink it easily. Okay, so that's why it is a precious. So we should not use the groundwater to construct the big shops, offices, commercial areas. So on the one hand we are consuming more groundwater, and on the other we are allowing lesser water to seep into the ground. This results in depletion of water table. In fact, the water table in some parts of many cities has gone down to alarmingly low levels. In some areas there is no water table. There is a lot of problem of water in day-to-day life. So that's why we have to allow the water to seep inside the earth surface. So that's why, so then only we are going to get the groundwater. sufficiently for using in the day-to-day life. So what happens if increasing in industries? Water is used by all the industries. Almost everything that we use needs water somewhere in its production process. The number of industries is increasing continuously. Water used by most of the industries is drawn from the ground. So most of the industries, factories were using their water requirements from the groundwater. So this also makes the groundwater or water table will decreases day by day. Okay. By the agriculture also we are going to get the deplete the water table or groundwater day by day. This results in the depletion of water table. Okay. So next we are going to see about the distribution of water in the next session, that is in next part 3. So this is the part 2 of water is a precious resource. So if you have any doubts, you can comment in the comment box. I will give this answer for your doubts. So take care, have a nice day. See you in the next session. Bye.